Do we have a mic? All right, last press conference of the year. We have a mic here, so please wait if you have a question. We'll take questions for Emma. I think we're up front here first. We'll go boom, boom, boom. You guys can pass it.
Hi, Emma.
Hey.
One of my favorite metaphors of yours this year was after the second Brazil game, I think, in San Jose, where you said, I'm going to paraphrase, that you wanted to put players into the frying pan and see who could handle the heat. If we're to extend that metaphor and presume that whatever meal was being cooked in that frying pan is complete, now that we're at the end of the year, how has the meal sort of turned out? Who was able to handle the heat? What was the heat, especially in the latter half of the year since you said that?
Well, I think first of all, it's still cooking. And it's a little bit, if I think about it, being a nice winter dish and a nice, like, slow cooked stew, and gets better with more time it's on the heat, certainly gets more tender. I think when I watch our team play, I think you're starting to see the maturity in the performances. And look, it's not easy when you make changes, but one of the things we do in training with the limited time we have is by the second half, that back four trained together all week. So as much as it feels like, oh, there's all these broken connections, we try and be intentional in how we organise players. But I'm very much about coaching every one of our 26 players to play as us, always. And I focus on that. And, of course, we organise our team to set up against opponents and spaces we want to exploit. But camp always dominates developing our game style. And I think when you watch it, for so many players to come in, and if you look at different parts of that menu, whether it's attacking, defending, transition, restarts, and all the elements that come in that, learning how to do all of those things and apply them is not an easy skill to do. But we're really experienced coaches. And I say that confidently, not in an arrogant way. I say it because learning how to deliver methodologically to people. I've got one of my players who played for me 20 odd years ago in this room.
Wow, hi.
So hi, Mum. I mean, more than 20 years ago, I think, to be honest with you. But we've got a lot of experience of learning how to do that. And I think we are in a position to be able to deliver that insight to the players. And so it's the combination of those things, being good chefs and having really good produce. It's fair to say.
Pass it to Michelle.
Hey, I'm Michelle Coffin from the Miami Herald. We met a long time ago here in Fort
I remember.
Lauderdale. I want to ask you about Lily at 18 years old, the vision that she has, the passes that she makes. What do you see in her and how good can she be? I mean, she's doing this at 18.
Well, I think what I've learned in all of this is you can't put a ceiling on anyone. So we won't do that. But she's 18 and all of the things that she has that are super strengths for her, we want to keep developing them. But at the same time, we've got to upskill her in the things that are going to be required for the top level. And I don't mean in possession of the ball, because when you play the best teams, you have to be able to recognise how to defend spaces and recognise the right moments to do certain things. And she's still learning that part of the game. That's why sometimes it's easier to play her a little bit higher in the 10 position, because there's different responsibilities than, say, playing as a double six defensively. So I still think there's room to grow in that. But she's a willing student and she will watch tape all the time. And I think that's what will keep accelerating her learning, is her commitment to the growth of the areas that she needs to add to be a truly world-class player. Right now, she's a world-class prospect. And that there is a distinction because that bar is really, really high if we want to become the best team in the world.
Thank you.
Hi, Lizzie Vetrano from ESPN. I want to know what went through your mind during that first Cat goal. I mean, we saw your celebration and your awe, but I would love to know what went through your mind.
You know, probably tears. I've got so much love for that person. Like, we have a really special relationship because of what she's gone through. So our bond is really strong. I think when you recruit players to football clubs, like you go through quite a lot. So we've been through that together, but I've watched behind the scenes what she's had to endure. So I think my tears of pride, because that's the best level I've seen her since her injury. Like tonight, that was the best in terms of having her confidence back. So that's what I was celebrating. It was like, she's got a little swagger back, and that matters to her, not to me, because I always think she puts in great performances. But I saw tonight that there really is another level to her to go, in her words, not mine. And I think I know how she feels when she's in this environment, like she feels valued and seen and supported. And we say this a lot in our environment, like it's not difficult. Like if you put the person first, and we always do that, I think then you get the very best out of players. And so I get a lot of satisfaction out of that. And for her, I honestly, I know I say it about all of them, but I just love her to bits.
Thank you.
Let's go to Celia.
Hi, Emma.
Hey.
We're entering the reflective period of the year. 2025 is coming to an end. When you look back at what this year has been for the team and you, what has been your proudest moment as coach?
That's a great question, because like I always come away like feeling that, but when you are a developer, that's what I'm always the most passionate about. Being able to create football that looks like what we're seeing on the pitch. When I tell you it's a lot of work, and for the players to be able to absorb and carry out that with calmness, with confidence, and to learn with really short times together. It's not a club environment. I watched the product in the last two games, and I'm like, that was a team that nearly made the Euro final. That's a really good side. We got patience. We've got. We could control the game in the right moments. We can attack in a variety of different ways. We can turn the heat up on a team if we want to defensively. We've got better at being patient without the ball in situations that you need to be at the modern end of the game. They take care of each other, like the standards that they put in, they value each other in a way. So for me, the pride is in all of it. And I've really enjoyed the performances in these two games. I think they're my favourite performances of the year, because more players delivered that performance, not just 11.
Thanks.
Let's go to Jonathan online. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Thanks, Aaron, Emma, congratulations.
Thanks.
Again, I wanted to ask about the second goal and the build up to it. Alyssa Thompson makes a cutting run and ends up almost,
Jaden Shaw.
I think it was Shaw. Sorry, it was my
Yeah.
fault. I'm sorry. She makes this cutting run to the center circle from a wide position before playing the pass. And you mentioned sort of the stew earlier and how you're building things up. At what point do you give a wide player the freedom to make that cut inside, because not every manager tactically might have their wide players do that, right? So I wonder what you saw on something like that and when the player gets the freedom to do that.
Well, it's freedom within a framework, though. That's the important part. We have principles of play. So it's not go where you like, it's understanding what the principles of play are. And then once you understand that framework, how we apply that and be dynamic within that, that is what the teaching and learning is. It just doesn't happen quickly. It don't happen in one camp. It's taken the best part of the time I've been in charge to produce the level of performance like that. And I don't want to talk about it because this should be about like our secret like sauce. So I'm not going to break the principles down at any point with any of you. So, but that's, let me tell you, very well rehearsed. That's what I would say. And as for the finish by Jaden, I knew the minute it arrived at her foot, there was only going to be one outcome. I'm so proud of Jaden and the growth in her game, not just to play for 90 minutes. I've said it before, she can score 1,000,000 goals, but the work she does for the team defensively stands out to me. That has been the biggest work on for her. And she's so count-onable in what she delivers. I'm so pleased for her.
Back online to Sylvia. Go ahead.
Hi, Emma. Congratulations on the win. Just two quick questions. One, can you just talk about Jordan Buck's performance today? She played the full match. And then two, looking ahead to the first window in 26, you all are playing a competitive match in January, which isn't typical. Can you just talk a bit about what went into that decision?
We're playing two, as a matter of fact. We just haven't announced the second one yet. Yeah.
I mean, Jordan Bugg is a huge talent that's had a really good year domestically. She's a player that, is she ready for now? No, I don't think she is. I think she's got great potential. She's a high potential player that has to develop the experiences to be able to play at the highest level. And that's why we play her in these situations. Certainly selected for her composure and her calmness. And defensively, she's got great pace. She's got to improve aerially at the top level. She knows that. We made that clear to the whole back line tonight. We'd only won 25% of our aerial duels, which was not acceptable. But again, she's like such a willing learner, and we need to give her the time to do that. But I think she will be an important player for this program.
And January camp, your thoughts? Camp and matches.
I mean, yeah, two good moments to play games. You know, we have to prepare for competing to qualify. So I want to start January with the pre-season friendlies that will hopefully give us a head start going into She Believes.
Last two, go to Donald Wine, and then we'll go to you, Sandra. Go ahead, Donald.
Thank you. Emma, congratulations on the win. As you look back at the year, one of the big things that you've kind of developed is a lot of depth around the team. How happy are you with the quality of the depth that has been produced, and how do you continue that into 2026?
Well, how happy are you with it?
Pretty happy.
I think by asking the question answers the question. And I think, look, you have to appreciate what is involved with development. And I understand, like, you're in the world where you have to write articles or you have to record podcasts and you have to talk about things. And there's always something to talk about with this team. But trust me, I'm a developer of talent. You don't do it by not playing them. You have to trial and error. You have to experiment. It's the only way you find the next level in yourself. And I'm thinking about the success of our under-20s against England and under-23s against England, and now us against a top European opponent. I don't do jobs in halves, and my job is to prepare for now and to prepare for later.
Our U23s beat England today 4-2, and the U20s yesterday beat England 4-1, I think. All right, we're going to finish up with Sandra Herrera, and then we are going to get Emma back to Harry Hayes because it's the holidays with our suitcase full of toys. Go ahead, Sandra.
Thanks. I appreciate the time on the last one. It's a great segue because I do have a question about the U23s. Emma, you sort of kind of revamped this dormant program, and as elated as I think we all are to sort of see you be this developer of talent in real time. Just sort of what are your thoughts, kind of seeing it all come together this year, the relaunch, and how it's really become this kind of pipeline for you to kind of sit in and pull from. You saying at the beginning of the year that it had to be revamped because there are players who are ready right now and players who will be ready later. How has seeing the U23 progress and the program kind of come back to life played out for you, and what's the next step for that program in 2026?
I think, as Tracy Kevins will always tell me, the talent is always there. But I think what we've done is joined it all up from the seniors to down the pathway. I think we've joined it up in an even more intentional way to close the gap or bridge the gap between sort of 19s to 23s. I think that was an area, and it is an area in football where players sort of age out. They don't get the international experience because they're not quite ready. Like this is an important stepping stone, and one, I think the reason we haven't necessarily had as much development of talent pre-me is because there was an absence of that programme, the under-23, plus COVID. And I think by bringing it back, we were in a position to say, I don't know, Ali sent a really good opportunity to go and play England and Slovakia. Great for her development. And if we're going to keep Olivia Moultrie here and Jaden Shaw here, then they're going to play. Otherwise, they go there. So I wanted to be committed to that. And and it's always hard because I want to win, but I want to stay committed to the course of developing them individually. And I feel like we've got to the end of this year and I'm like, I know how hard my team in the background have worked, from Tracy to Denise to Lisa Cole. All of these people are putting together the programming in a way so that we're able to join things up and down, and there's a body of work that's going on, plus the scouting, plus the recruiting, plus the tracking and the monitoring of every player. Like, there's an extensive body of work that underpins what that performance is. And so I'm very appreciative and very grateful for my staff because they're all brilliant.
And with that, thanks. I think I speak for the media when I say, Emma, thank you for a year of fantastic press conferences.
Thanks. It's great to see so many female journalists in the room. That I'm very proud of.
Well said. So happy holidays, everybody, and we will see you in 2026.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you.